Nothing Fancy by Alison Roman. That's the cookbook that I'm reviewing today, so grab a mug of your favorite beverage and come on back for today's nutrition coffee chat. And while you're at it, click the subscription button below and the little notification bell so that you never miss a video. Oh, so yes, it is not lost on me the irony that I'm reviewing a cookbook for entertaining during a global pandemic. But way back in December, when I was planning what cookbooks I would be reviewing for the first part of 2020, and I got a request from a viewer to include this cookbook. So absolutely included this book in my queue. And I mean, never would have predicted COVID and global pandemic and, this new phrase, this new concept of physical distancing. And so, yeah, here I am reviewing a cookbook for entertaining when I'm not entertaining anybody. But really not a big deal, because either I just cut the recipes in half, or I made the full amount of recipes, particularly the veggie sides and the salads, because I eat a lot of vegetables. So something that would serve like 4 to 8 for main focused vegetable eating like I do really made like 2 to 3 meals. So it was perfect. And so really didn't have to do much. And I am so glad that I reviewed this cookbook. Oh, especially after the last cookbook review that I did, Paleo Every Day by Pete Evans. Wasn't a fan of that one, had some big disasters, and so yeah, I really needed a good month of cooking. If you want to check out that cookbook review, I'll include a link in the description box below. Oh, and also in the description box and the comment section below, I am planning my next 6 months of cookbook reviews, and I would love your recommendations. So if you've got some cookbooks that you've been curious about, please include them in the comment section below so that I can be ordering them and getting them all queued up and getting ready to start cooking away. Okay, so this cookbook, I hadn't heard of Alison Roman before, and so I was really excited to check it out, and thank you for the viewer who recommended it. And yeah, really, really happy that I did. So let's dive in, get this cookbook review going. So as I mentioned, it's a cookbook for entertaining, and really summing it up, I love the title. Nothing Fancy, Unfussy Food for Having People Over. That really sums up my food philosophy in a nutshell. Whenever I am entertaining people, I get a lot of compliments on my cooking. Oh, you're an amazing cook. And I often think like, I don't really do much. Like, it's really unfussy food. And that's why I, have students and volunteers do my food photography, because yeah, my food tastes delicious. It's not all fancy on the plate. I choose good ingredients and just don't mess with them a lot. That's really my food philosophy. And so I loved this title of this cookbook right off the top. Nothing Fancy, Unfussy Food for Having People Over. Sign me up, I'm in. So here's the table of contents. It's organized by snack time, dips, spreads, and stuff on crackers, fruits and vegetables, crunchy things, salty things, salads, leafy salads, kind of salads, sides, vegetables, grains, etc., mains, meat, fish, pasta, etc., and then after dinner. So I really like how that's laid out with the sections and then the subsections. So let's get into the recipes. And as you can see, with COVID-19 happening, I have more time to be cooking at home, and so extra thorough review. So I will not go through in detail every single recipe, because heck, that would just be far too long a video. So getting right in. Tangy roasted mushrooms. Oh, delicious. Right up my alley, super easy. And something that I noticed in this recipe and quite a few recipes is that she's quite heavy on the olive oil, which is not I love olive oil, healthy choice, but I found that sometimes the dishes, particularly the salad dressings and a number of dishes, it just ended up a little too oily, like mouthfeel and flavor-wise for me. So pretty much throughout, I just cut back a little bit on the olive oil recommendations, and that was really easy to do, and then I loved things. So something that was kind of a theme throughout. So tangy mushrooms, that one there. Slightly sticky walnuts with sesame and sumac. Oh, and I perhaps don't have a photo of this one, but there we go. And so yeah, delicious recipe. Sumac, something that I don't happen to have in my pantry right now, and during COVID I'm not doing extra shopping. There wasn't sumac in my grocery store, so I either omitted it in recipes, and she does have sumac in quite a few recipes, so I either omitted it or I just used sweet paprika that I had in hand. So that was a really easy substitution or way to change it. Moving on into salads, celery and fennel with walnuts and blue cheese. Beautiful. And something that I really loved is that throughout her salads, she really sung the praises of celery. And celery, you know, I have to admit, I mean, I use it, but it's usually a background flavor. It's not something that I really focus on. I kind of celebrate. And so I really appreciate that she reminded me to celebrate and really enjoy celery. So that was a delicious recipe. This next one, spicy red cabbage with sweet onion and lime. I would say this was my least successful recipe in here. Not the best one. Next, celery salad with cilantro and sesame. Again, celebrating celery, delicious. Smashed cucumbers with sizzled turmeric and garlic. Yum. Crushed baby potatoes with scallion, celery, and lots of dill. Again, you notice the celery theme, but I really like this one. It was kind of like a cross between a salad and a potato salad, but still kind of warm. Yummy. Really delicious. Creamy cauliflower and onion gratin. I mean, who doesn't love a gratin? But I never made one with cauliflower. I've always used different root vegetables. And so I thought that was a really great idea to be less carb heavy, less starchy, but still all the lovely deliciousness of a gratin. Garlicky broccoli and greens with hazelnut and coriander. Yum. The greatest creamed greens. And this one I'm so glad I tried, because to tell the truth, I've never made creamed greens. And I just, yeah, they always seemed like something that I was like, creamy and leafy greens. I don't know how those two would go together, but so glad I tried it because this was delicious. I don't know if it's the greatest of all time because really it was my first one, but I liked it. Moving on, black lentils with crispy garlic and labneh. Oh, this was good. And so again, similar theme to what I've talked about before. During COVID-19, I'm not cooking, I'm not going to specialty stores. My grocery store didn't have black lentils or labneh, but I just substituted regular lentils and Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt, and a higher fat one, more of like a mid-range to higher fat one, not a 0% one. And it worked totally well. So this recipe, this cookbook has some, while it has some ingredients that might not be available in your local grocery store, really easy substitutions, often that she's recommending in here. So I loved that. Frizzled chickpeas and onions with feta and oregano. Yum, delicious. Buttered turmeric rice with crushed almonds and herbs. Oh, who doesn't like a crunchy rice dish? Yum. Lemony white beans with escarole and anchovies and parmesan. So good. I didn't have escarole, so I used a different dark green, and it was delicious. I even served this dish to my sweetheart 6-year-old, and he loved it too. He likes beans, and he's a pretty good eater, but you never know. Something totally different with some strong flavors. Yummy. And something that I love about Alison in this cookbook is that she sings the praises of anchovies. I'm an anchovy lover as well, and I think that it gets a lot of bad rap, and a lot of people haven't even tried anchovies. And so the recipe like this is perfect, because what anchovies are amazing for is providing like a umami, delicious background flavor. You don't taste fishiness, you don't taste anchovy, you're just like, oh, these beans are delicious. And you don't really know why. That's the secret of anchovies. And so if you aren't familiar with anchovies, give them a try in a recipe like this. And yeah, just kind of come with a blank slate. Don't let their bad reputation steer you away from them. Okay. Next recipe, salmon with soy and citrusy charred scallions. Really good one, and even though she's more of an East Coaster, I used this with a sockeye salmon and it was still delicious. And what I quite liked about it as well is if you are feeding kiddos who aren't so crazy about different sauces and flavors, what I did with this one, because I had my sweetheart's 9-year-old around, is that I made the salmon and then just served the sauce on the side. So we got the experience, the enjoyment of having a sauce, but he wasn't super crazy about citrusy type flavors, and so he just had plain salmon. So win all around. I love a dish that's easily deconstructed when you've got pickier kiddos. And then moving into desserts, crushed blackberry and cornmeal cake. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I am not a strong baker. I'm a good cook. I'm not a good baker. And so if I'm trying baking recipes and they work out, then you know they're going to work for anyone. And yeah, this was delicious. I used frozen blackberries that I defrosted first before making this cake, and yeah, really, really good. And I love a cake that's not uber sweet. Like, there's still sugar in here. It's still a dessert. Don't fool you with that. But what some people might call like a coffee cake or like a snacking cake, she calls it here. So basically like not all the icing, all the fancy. I love a cake like that. That's not as like, oof, super sugary sweet. And so yeah, this was delicious. Tiny, salty, chocolatey cookies. They're a gluten-free one, like a flourless one. So chocolatey, gooey, good. But it makes a lot of cookies. This recipe makes a lot of cookies. So maybe not the best one during COVID-19, or if you will be maybe doing like a neighborhood block party distant event type of thing and you want to make it for a bigger crowd, that's a good one. Otherwise, you're going to have a heck of a lot of delicious cookies on hand, which might not be the best setup. And then the last recipe was a lemony turmeric tea cake. I love a lemon loaf. This was a delicious lemon loaf. Didn't really notice any of the turmeric flavor in there. And so when I make it again, I might just eke up the turmeric a little bit to give that a try, but absolutely delicious lemon loaves. If you're a lemon loaf fan, this is a great recipe. And again, totally turned out for me, so you know it's an easy one. Okay, so in summary, did I like this cookbook? I think it's pretty obvious. Yes, I did 2 thumbs up, 5 stars, absolutely Kristen approved, nothing fancy by Alison Roman. Thank you, Alison, for this cookbook. I absolutely love it. You made my month. And yeah, so if you think this cookbook is a great idea for yourself, when you use the link in the description box below to purchase off Amazon, I appreciate it because I earn a little bit of income from that. So it's a nice way to say thank you to me, to support me with these videos, and at no extra expense to you. So that's a great option. Or hey, shop local, contact your local bookstore, see if they're offering a minimum contact shopping opportunity to get this cookbook from them. And yes, I am definitely looking for some more cookbook recommendations to review. So if you have some cookbooks you've been curious about, please enter that in the comment section below. And yeah, I'm going to give you a little heads up that next month I will not be doing a cookbook review. I'm moving at the end of the month, and so I'm eating through what I have already in the pantry. Can't be doing a month of cooking new recipes, as well as it just seems silly to buy something new only to move it. I'm really not bringing anything new into the house before I move. So it'll be August then before the next cookbook review, but I would love those recommendations soon so that I can be ordering things and getting cooking and so that I can review them. So please include that in the comment section below. If you like today's video, let me know. Click the thumbs up button. For more cookbook reviews, I've got videos here. To subscribe, please hit the subscription button below and the notification bell so that you get everything you need to create healthy eating habits that stick. Have a good couple of weeks, and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time.